Hello, I'm Bud McCord. I'm here in Brazil, South America. It's February 4th, 2021. Welcome to Food for Thought, Thinking with Jesus. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. I believe that every believer can actually learn to think with Jesus. Not just think about Jesus, must learn to think with Jesus. I thank you for your participation in these moments where we read a devotional together, and then we take those thoughts to Jesus and we think about them with Jesus. And then we adjust our lives to the things that God is showing us in the light of His Word and in the light of the fact that He, Christ, lives in each believer. That's what unites us. The subject today of the devotional is who or what? Who or what? The devotion is very short, won't take long to read, but it asks a really important question for those that would truly want to live true Christianity. Here's how it goes. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's Jesus speaking in John chapter 14, verse 6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. Is Christianity a who or a what? When missionaries cross an ocean to see Christianity grow in a new place, do they carry accumulated knowledge about what Christianity is? Or do they carry someone with them? The difference between Christianity and all other religions is that Christianity is not words about words. Let me read that again. The difference between Christianity and all other religions is that Christianity is not words about words. It is the Word that became flesh and dwelt among us and now dwells in us. Christianity is a who, not a what. When missionaries make disciples, they take them to the living Jesus, not a body of knowledge accumulated over time. They baptize the new believer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They baptize them into who, not what. Never take your eyes off Jesus. He is everything the Father has for all of us, and He now lives in us. Take people to Jesus and leave them there. Take people to Jesus and leave them there. If someone were to ask you the question, what is Christianity? What is Christianity? How would you begin to approach answering that person's question? Let's suppose you were a missionary and you were going to a foreign land at a time when the knowledge of Christianity in that land was maybe 1% of the population. At most. And there are still places in the world where that's true. Less than 1%. And you suddenly showed up, and a sincere person meeting you, and maybe they like you and they're interested, and they said, well, what is Christianity? You would have to immediately try to say in as clear and simple terms as you could for this person to grasp that Christianity is much more than something you study. It's much more than a list of rules that make sense for keeping our lives on track. Christianity is much, much more than a list of doctrines that you could sign off on one by one until you signed off on enough of them that you would suddenly become a Christian. What you really would have to help the person understand is something that would probably be very strange to them. And that is the idea that Christianity is completely rooted in the person of Jesus. And everything that is rooted and connected to Jesus is Christian. Everything that is sourced in Jesus is Christian. Everything that is done by the power of our union with Christ is Christian. You would not lead them to your library. Maybe if they had a specific question and you had a book you felt like that they could read that might help them understand a little bit more about Jesus. But what you certainly wouldn't want to do as a missionary is make people think that they have to become like you. What you want them to be is like Jesus. The most we can do is take people to Jesus and leave them there. And when I say leave them, I don't mean to leave them in the sense we stop caring about them. I'm saying that our job is done only when Christ is formed in a person. It's been a long time since I've heard a preacher of any kind anywhere say that the work that a missionary does or the work that a pastor does is to keep taking people to Jesus until Christ is formed in them, meaning they are totally given over to Jesus, not to just some ideas called Christianity. It is Christianity. I can't even say that, but it's called Christianity because it's Christ. That's how it began at the beginning. But today, Christianity can be a political movement. Christianity, in some people's mind, can be someone who's stuck in the past, living out a religion whose time came and went. We as Christians need to remember that, as I said in the devotional, when you baptize people, you baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You immerse them in the history of God. And for us as human beings, that history of God became real for us, 100% real for us, when Christ walked among us and then died for us and then came with the Father and the Spirit to make us their sanctuary. So it's certainly not a what, it's a who. All of it. Christianity is a who. And so many people today are abandoning the church. So many people today are leaving Christianity. So many people today are saying, I grew up in that, but I'm out of that now. I don't believe that anymore. Well, if Christianity is a who, then what you've done is walk away from a person. You've denied the love of that person. You've ignored the sacrifice that person made. If we make Christianity a what, then anybody can walk away. I have no problem if somebody says, I don't think I'm ever going back to the institutional church. Well, that's a choice. But I really struggle when I hear someone say, I'm not a Christian anymore, because my heart breaks, because what I hear them saying is, I don't want anything to do with Jesus. There's a difference between a Christian who's committed to Christianity as a set of doctrines or a set of thoughts or a set of ideas or a nice way to live. But when you reduce Christianity down to the essence, it's Christ. That's what we know of Christianity. It's Christ in us, the hope of glory. Don't take your eyes off Jesus, because he is everything that God has for us. And we don't even know what that means, but we know it's way more than we can imagine. And it's better than we can ever imagine, because Christ is our way back to the Father. Hey, God bless you, and have a great day. Starting next Monday, I'm going to change the time of this devotional from 8:15 Brazil time, which is a different time in Miami. I think it's like 2 hours difference, 2 hours earlier in like Miami, Florida. And in the time in Portugal be different, just 15 minutes, so that I can organize my mornings a little bit better. So tomorrow will be the same time, but on Monday, the 8th, It'll be 15 minutes later than what you might be used to. God bless you. Have a great day in Jesus.